Okay, this is Mario once again with MIA Microflight, and I have to come back full circle again and again and again to the Anycubic i3 Megas. These are machines that I been running all the parts that I use in my products, all the micro lights, ultra lights, auto gyros, helicopters, you name it. I mean, pretty much everything that I've done for the past 7 years since this machine was out has been on these Anycubic i3 Megas. And as you can see here, this print is just printing just fine here. This is one of the parts is a combo set that I use for one of my micro RC ultralights or microlights, the size 1.0. And so I'm printing these parts right here. And I just tried printing this on my on a Two Trees SP5 version 3.0, which is a machine that I recently purchased. Has a larger footprint, and I bought that machine along with a Bluer Plus 5, also from Two Trees, because they have larger footprints. And after been printing so long on these machines, I mean, nothing wrong with these machines. They're printing still printing great. I bought the Two Tree machines because they have a larger print surface, mainly. Not so much concerned about the height, because most of my parts are, as you can see them, they're very low profile. They're kind of once in a while I'll print something that takes up, you know, 4-6 inches in height. I haven't gone that far. I don't print very large parts because number one, it takes too long. Number two, you have to, you know, to watch the parts as they're printing, so they don't, in case they get messed up, you know, you want to be there to control it, so there's no waste of material and there's no issues, you know, with the print. So most of my parts are like this, and the consistency in being able to repeat the same parts consistently on these machines once they get level, it's been, I mean, something that I cannot find in any other machine since purchasing these Core i3 Megas. To give you another example, this is the Bluer Plus 5 from Two Trees. It's a machine that's been around for I believe 3 years, and I just stumbled on this company recently, and I decided to purchase this machine along with an SP5 version 3.0, I believe, Core XY machine. And I just did some videos with that Core XY, and nowhere near. I have not been able to print the same parts on that other machine. Issues with the parts lifting, even though I increased the bed. This one is running at the bed temperature at 65. On the Core XY, I was running that a little bit hotter, 70, because at 60, which is what I typically print on my Anycubic i3 Megas, the parts were lifting. It wasn't just grabbing onto the surface. So I don't know if it's an issue with maybe the surface, because even at 70 degrees the parts were lifting. The other issue I had with that SP5 Core XY is that one of the fans jammed. I had issues, you know, with the extruder, with the extruder, as well as the feeder mechanism on that machine. So I had to take that apart twice, you know, since getting the machine, and I just recently got it. This one, I had an issue with the control board. It almost caught on fire because the wires that go to the bed here, they were not properly terminated on the control board, and the screw that tightens the that lead, one of the leads to the heating element to this bed, was loose, and it was kind of creating a very intermittent contact. And so this was demanding more heat, and it was going through these little tiny stranded wires that were attached to the connector, and so they started overheating, and that got hot enough to the point where it melted the sheeting, created a spark around the connector of the board. So I was able to luckily catch that on time, but the board got really messed up. And so I'm waiting from Two Trees to I believe they were going to send me a new control board for that. I did a video on this machine showing that also that issue with that. that. But the reason I'm doing this video is to illustrate and do like a comparison with these parts that are also being printed here. This, I'm having to run this, even though this is a much later machine, more modern than my i3 Megas, and it's got this these PEI type of surfaces. I don't care for these surfaces. I prefer the i3 Megas because I've been printing on them for so long with great results, that I don't care for this. And that's one of the reasons why I bought the SP5 from Two Trees, because that one has a glass bed, but it's not the same glass as my Anycubic i3 Megas. I think Anycubic has a patent on the glass bed itself, and maybe that's why these other companies are not allowed to copy it exactly. Maybe they're trying to mimic it, and so not the same results is basically what I'm trying to say here. But anyway, I'm running the same set of parts on this machine, but I'm having to run this super slow, and the bed is, like I said, at a much higher speed than on my Anycubics at 65 here. And this is basically running at I'm running these parts at half speed. So if we go to speed, you can see that I dialed this down to 50%, so that this print would print at least grab onto the surface for the first layers. So I had to do that almost 3 times, because I messed 3 times. The machine was not printing properly, the parts were not adhering, and it wasn't grabbing, and it was kind of a mess. So I had to kill those 3 attempts. This is my 4th attempt at doing this, and so I dialed this down to 50. Make sure that the bed is truly level. This machine has been performing quite well, you know, for other things that I show in some other videos that I did about this machine. So if you go look at my Bluer Plus series of videos, you'll see what I've been doing with this machine, the issues that I've had, and so on and so forth. But this machine is I mean, it's printing the parts pretty decent, pretty good, but it's not running at nowhere near the speed as my Anycubic i3 Megas is running.